All right, welcome to a Monday afternoon webinar. I wanted to do this webinar to help those members who are relatively new to the Keyword Academy and new to the method a good high-level view of how this process looks from keyword or topic brainstorming all the way through keyword selection, publishing posts, and building links. Just so that after you've been through chapters 1 through 4 in the ebook, you can watch this webinar as an overview and hopefully feel confident enough to dive in and start the process. My goal today is not to help you understand everything perfectly. My biggest goal is to help you see that although in the core lessons I try to make things as scientific and as methodical as possible, what matters most is action. It's just moving forward. So although I put specific numbers and criteria in place in the Keyword Academy core lessons, you're going to see today that I often break my own rules, and I do because the rules are just guidelines. And the idea is for you to find keywords, target them, publish posts, promote those posts, repeat that process dozens and then hundreds of times, and that's how you get paid in this business, as opposed to perfectly executing each and every step, each and every post. You'll never execute perfectly. The goal here is to just create a lot of content, promote it, get paid. Okay? So let's start with the keyword selection process. Now, we're back with, we've got this great tool, Niche Refinery, available to us again. And so I'm going to show you this process through the eyes of Niche Refinery first. Now, if I'm brand new and I've read the lessons on keyword brainstorming, I'm going to go to log into Niche Refinery with my Keyword Academy username and password. And I start with the Google Auto Suggest brainstorming tool. Now, because my site is about small business and all topics relating to small business, I've had in mind lately this idea of marketing. So I put marketing into the suggestion box here and I click go, and I get 260 broad ideas having to do with marketing. Now, the way I use this tool, I would not take these terms that you see on the screen further in the process just yet. I want to narrow them down a little bit further. So I'll scan this list for a subtopic of marketing that looks interesting to me. And for the example today, we're going to use marketing budget. Rather than moving it over here or anything like that, I'm just going to take marketing budget and put that up in the search bar. So I'm narrowing first with the search bar, and as I get longer tail suggestions from the tool, I'll start to move those over into my master keyword list and refine those through further research. So now I'm getting all these interesting keyword ideas: marketing budget allocation, marketing budget analysis, marketing budget as a percent of sales. A lot of interesting stuff here. So I'm going to go ahead and select all of those and add them to my keyword list. But then I want to drill down further and I want to see what suggestions I haven't gotten yet that have to do with a marketing budget from the tool. So I can use a wildcard search. Wildcard meaning when you use a character like this asterisk, you're telling the tool, show me other keyword phrases that contain the terms marketing and budget, but may also contain a bunch of other things. So entering that asterisk, I click search again, and now I'm getting some repetition, but I'm getting some more nice long tail stuff. Small business marketing budget template, marketing campaign budget example, marketing communications budget template, all good stuff. Select them all and add the selected to the keyword list. Now I'm up to a total of 379 brainstormed keywords that I can take further in the process. So let's go ahead and check this box to download these in groups of 200, which allows me to paste them into the Google AdWords keyword tool. Download selected. It gives me this, this zip file. When I open it, you'll see has two CSV files in it. One of them will have 200 keyword ideas, and the other one will have 179 because I started with 379 total. And then I'll just select those both, open them with Microsoft Excel, take them to the Google AdWords keyword tool. Head over to the Google AdWords keyword tool, sign in with my AdWords login here. You'll need an AdWords account to do this, although we're not having you buy any traffic. I'm always surprised and worried when someone sends me an email after having been in the program a while that says, I signed up for an AdWords account and I started buying clicks, but nothing's happening. At no point in the process do we ever have you buy clicks, so please don't spend any money on AdWords. Now that I'm logged in to the AdWords tool, I've got my columns preset the way I like them: keyword, competition, local monthly searches, and approximate CPC. Come back to my spreadsheet here, copy all those keyword suggestions and paste them right here into the suggestion box. I only want to see keywords closely related to my search terms, and I only want to see the exact results. And the reason for all that is explained, of course, in the core lessons. So what you see here is that there's actually not a lot of traffic associated with marketing budget. But I've got my results for my searches, and then I've got other suggestions that the AdWords tool has given me. I will take all of those, I'll download all 231, and you see that download come right down here because I'm using the Chrome browser. Now I go back to Niche Refinery and I click on my small business keyword pool. Now if I didn't have a keyword pool, I'd have to click on the plus sign, add a new pool, and import to that pool, but you'll have other video tutorials to show you how to do that. So let me reset these filters as though I were just now getting to this keyword idea, and I'm going to click import, browse, and open the keyword CSV file that I just got from the AdWords tool. By the way, I'm going quickly because I don't want to bog down and because I'm assuming that you may want to watch this video a few times to pick up on all these things, but I just want to give you a high level of this whole process. So I upload those keyword ideas, give Niche Refinery a minute to import them and process them. Now I've got all my keywords in this pool, but I want to find those that have to do with marketing budgets. So I tell Niche Refinery, show me keyword phrases that contain market and budget. Filter. Now you see I've got all these different keyword ideas that contain both market and budget, and I will sort those by local search volume. Now, because they're closely related, and because when I do keyword research, I'm researching phrases that can be grouped together and used as individual posts, so I'll start to scan this list, and I'm looking for hints at what would be a good keyword group. So for example, I've got create and creating. Now how to create a marketing budget and creating a marketing budget, I think you can see that those are the same searcher. Creating a marketing budget, how to create a marketing budget, I can give the same article to both of those people and serve them both really well. So I want to refine my filter even more, and I'm going to put create minus the E, because if I do CREAT, it will capture keyword phrases that have both create or creating in them. And I'll filter those. And you see I've got how to create a marketing budget, creating a marketing budget, how to create a budget for a marketing plan. All of these would do really well as part of a post about creating a marketing budget, right? So imagining that I didn't have these phrases already in a group, I would select all of these, click on group, and because I don't have a group yet, I need to click on create new keyword group, and I'm going to call it creating a marketing budget, and I'll click assign. So now let's look at this. What I've done is I started with the concept of marketing. I refined it to marketing budget. I looked for all the long tail keyword phrases associated with marketing budget, and through drilling down I eventually got to how to create a marketing budget or creating a marketing budget, and I could build a post around those phrases. From here, my job would be to create a post title that covered the keyword group as well as possible, which is exactly what's talked about in, I believe, chapter 3 of the core lessons. It may be chapter 4. But I would come up with the post title, and then I would go create and publish the post. All right. Now, here's a good stopping point and kind of a good discussion point. In the core lessons, what do I say about search volume requirements? I say that you really want the groups, if you're going to have a group, you want its total local search volume to be around 400 per month minimum. Now, if you look at this group, I've got 28, 28, and then zeros. So my estimated total potential for search volume for this group is only 56. So does it meet my criteria? No, it doesn't. So at this point I make a decision, and this is where I told you that sometimes I break my own rules because they're really just guidelines. If I feel like a keyword group could perform well, has a chance to perform well, even though the numbers aren't there, I'll still create that post. And you might say, well, what gives you that feeling? The main thing that gives me a good vibe about a keyword group, if its numbers don't match what I'm looking for, is the number of variations that contain or that cover the same concept. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different variations here that all have to do with creating or how to create a marketing budget. With 6 variations, I can say, well, there's 6 different ways that the Google AdWords keyword tool is aware of people having searched in this keyword family. So if 6 of them have already been searched, how many more might there be that will be searched in the future? Because a high percentage of all searches are unique. They're being typed into the search bar for the very first time. So if I see a lot of activity here, that gives me the sense that there's probably a lot more keyword phrases, long tail keyword phrases that could bring traffic to the post that I'm not even seeing. A really good example of this is my post about how to start a small business with no money. I need to reset my filters here to show that group. I have 104 variations of how to start a small business or starting a small business with no money. With 104 variations, I know that there will actually be a lot of traffic coming to that post on keywords that I would never have guessed would bring that traffic. Just to really drive that point home, let's go to my analytics and show you all the variations that are bringing me traffic to that post. Let's see, traffic sources, search, organic. So January 6th to February 12th, how to start a small business with no money is the main keyword that I have. If we go to landing page and drill down on that post, how to start up your own small business with no money, and then look at the keywords that are bringing traffic to it, see this right here? I have 187 different keywords that just in the last 30 days have brought traffic to that post. If I extend that date range all the way back to, say, right when this post was published, around October 15th, and go through today, February 6th, 330 different keywords. In the lifetime of this post, 330 different keywords have brought traffic to this post. When I'm looking at a post like market and budget and create, I won't have the same expectation for that post with 6 variations as I would for how to start a small business with no money with 104 variations. But I will look at this group and I'll say, okay, I know that this post could generate some traffic over time. If I do a good job with the post, if I really cover the keyword group, and if I improve my site so that Google likes my whole site, then this post can still perform for me even though the numbers don't really check out. The decision that you have to make is, and everyone makes this decision for him or herself, do I want to be very careful about every post that I produce, ensuring that the numbers associated with that keyword group meet my strict criteria? Or do I want to say, I'm going to write about subjects that interest me, even if the traffic numbers aren't perfect, even if the CPC or the competition numbers aren't perfect, I'm going to write about those posts because they flow easily and because I know that over time I will create hundreds and hundreds of them. I can promise you that even if you had keyword groups that looked like the one you see here on the screen, how to create a marketing budget with relatively low estimated traffic, relatively low advertiser competition, if you were to create hundreds and hundreds of these, you'd have a successful site. So you just have to decide how you're going to approach it. Strictly by the numbers, or with more of a bias toward your interest and your enthusiasm, even if the numbers aren't perfect. My feeling is that you'll perform better in the long run if you have a bias toward your enthusiasm as opposed to toward the numbers. Because when you're enthusiastic, you do lots of work. When your decisions are all based on numbers, it's harder to sustain the motivation that will keep you going through this entire process. That will get you to do the work day in and day out so that you can eventually be successful. So how to create a marketing budget could be a fine post. If you feel like those numbers just are not strong enough for you, then you just go up a level. And what that means is you say, okay, I've got this concept of creating a marketing budget. There's not enough estimated traffic there for me to be comfortable, so I need to combine that with another group that those two groups together will have enough traffic. And let's see if we can do that here in this pool. What if instead of forcing my post to be just about creating a marketing budget, what if I let creating a marketing budget combined with something like develop to set a marketing budget? See, I'm scanning this list for keyword phrases that mean the same thing as create or creating. They just use slightly different terms, right? So how to create, how to set, how to make a marketing budget, how to determine marketing budget. They all mean the same thing as how to create, but I'm just looking at those and letting them justify the keyword group, letting them tell me that a post should be created here. I just need to see the best way to approach it. Creating a marketing budget, a keyword group, assign. Now when I look at that keyword group, creating a marketing budget, I've given myself a little more to go on, right? This may end up not being the perfect example because ultimately it would be great if the total estimated search volume did reach that 400 threshold. But even if it didn't, I could feel confident going forward that it may be that this post doesn't do a lot for me, but in combination with all the other posts I create, I'll have a winning site. That's my process for going from a broad subject like marketing down to a very narrow keyword group like developing a marketing budget, how to create a marketing budget. I think that's actually a really good stopping point because our next spot or our next subject is creating a post title, writing a post, publishing it, and promoting it. So let's stop here and let's do some Q&A about everything that happened up to this point. Someone says, last week when you introed Niche Refiner, you started with a list from AdWords. Today you started with brainstorming in Niche Refinery. Yep, that's it really doesn't matter where you start your research. So I could have started here and typed in marketing and said only ideas related and exact match. I could have brainstormed in the Google AdWords keyword tool or in the Niche Refinery keyword suggestion tool and gotten great results either way. The reason I always like or I want you to really use the Niche Refinery suggestion tool is because it has that wildcard feature where, and not just the wildcard feature, I mean it has this long tail feature where you put in a broad subject and it's going to give you lots of different long tails to help you through the brainstorming process. That may not happen if you just use the AdWords tool. So it's a little bit more thorough if you brainstorm with Niche Refinery, but it honestly doesn't matter where you start. as long as you eventually use Niche Refinery to really glean the long tail ideas out of the subject, you're going to end up in the right place. Someone says, what's the difference between the AdWords tool and Niche Refinery? There's not a huge difference because, and I sort of just explained it, but when you use the Niche Refinery suggestion tool, it's pulling keyword data from Google, from Google's auto-suggest functionality. So if I go to google.com right now and I type in marketing, you see how I've got all these suggestions? The way Google generates those suggestions, or the way Niche Refinery gets its suggestions, is by getting this stuff from Google. Niche Refinery is helping you brainstorm by looking at all the things that people have searched, like marketing plan, marketing strategies, and it's giving you those here. And then by letting you also search with that wildcard feature, the asterisk, it's giving you lots of very long tail phrases that a lot of times the AdWords tool is not going to spit out. Things like marketing development plan, marketing execution plan template, long tail stuff like that. You want to use both tools. If you feel like you get easily confused, then just follow the workflow that I showed you today. Go Niche Refinery, brainstorming with the asterisk, and building a master keyword list here, then download it, take it to the AdWords tool, plug those in, and take your research from there. What happens when all the long tails are so similar? How can they all be used in the same post? Great question. We will get there. Are you swayed by the CPC figures if the traffic doesn't add up to enough? I am really very rarely swayed by low CPC numbers. We've got some high CPC numbers here. Email marketing services, 47. That's funny. There's a difference here between my philosophy and other people's philosophies. Other people have a philosophy that they want every post, they want to do everything they can to ensure that every post is a winner. And that's sensible. What I think about, though, is that you have to make your decision based on information that you believe in. And history tells us that the CPC number that Google spits out is notoriously inaccurate. We also know that the estimated searches can be notoriously inaccurate. And you say, well, even if they're inaccurate, aren't they uniformly inaccurate? Isn't it true that overall high CPC is going to be better than low CPC? Isn't it true that high estimated searches are going to be better than low estimated searches? And the only answer I can give there is sort of. I just have too much experience now over the last 3 years of working with Keyword Academy members where they say, well, where they come back and I get all kinds of different stories about how the CPC estimated way high or it estimated way low, how the search volume was a lot higher than what was estimated or much lower than estimated. So I've come to the conclusion that the only thing I can do, or the only thing I want to do, is to look at keyword groups and say, okay, because I'm interested in business, because I'm interested in marketing, I know that's what I want to write about anyway. So the question is not whether I'm going to write about it. The question is, what is the best way to approach it? So for me, I don't even like keyword research. I don't like that phrase. I like keyword selection and keyword organization, because research implies that you can learn something really meaningful by digging into the data, and I personally don't believe you can. There are people who are very close to me who are very credible who believe that you can. I don't believe that. I like the phrase keyword organization because I'm saying I know what I want to write about it. What's the best way to approach that topic? And for me, the best way is to say, what are the long tails associated with that topic, and how do I group them together into a post, publish that post, and try to pull all the traffic I can to it. Can you guys see the difference there between a detailed analytical keyword research approach? My goal is that every post you publish has some chance of performing, as opposed to trying to make sure that every post you write has a high percent chance of success based on what I consider really flawed data.